Hello and welcome back to Women's Football Talk, the YouTube channel that brings you all the latest news and stories as and when it happens from around the world of women's football. Now before we get into today's video, make sure you smash that subscribe button and turn on the post notification bell below as well so we can hit 500 subscribers by the end of the year. Now this is a bit later than usual, I apologise, but we're going to have a quick look back at last week's Champions League action. But before we do that, Arsenal have put out a statement this Monday morning confirming that Vivianne Miedema has ruptured her anterior cruciate ligament during their Champions League match against Lyon this past week. The statement says, "We can confirm that Vivianne Miedema has suffered a ruptured anterior cruciate ligament during our UEFA Champions League match against Lyon at the Emirates on Thursday. Viv will undergo surgery in the coming days and will unfortunately be ruled out for an extended period of time. A more detailed timescale will be established once the operation is complete. Everyone at Arsenal wishes Viv well in her recovery and will be providing her with all the support she needs to return to action as soon as possible." So that was what was feared by many, including myself, when that incident took place just before the half-time whistle on Thursday. It was a very nasty injury. Obviously she goes stretching for the ball and then her leg just really goes awkward on her, and then she goes down in tears, and was expected from me straight away. I said as soon as she saw that, and it was a bit of an off the ball like no one near her challenge type thing, it said to me straight away that she had ruptured her ACL, and it was just a matter of waiting for the news to confirm it. So with that being an ACL injury, it will most likely mean, because ACL injuries can take a minimum of 6 months to recover from, anywhere up to a year if not beyond. Some players may never recover from an ACL injury, so in that terms you can say that her season is over for Arsenal. Competitively she won't feature again in the WSL or the Champions League. It's extremely unlikely. I'm not saying it's 100% guaranteed, but it's extremely unlikely, and it also puts at high risk her chance of being in the Netherlands squad for the World Cup next summer. Obviously that is set to start in July, which is 8 months to the date tomorrow. So like I said, with it being usually a minimum of 6 months and her not having any game time in between now and then, I don't expect the Netherlands to risk her at all. So big injury concern for Arsenal. Obviously it's now their second ACL injury that they've had to deal with in a 3-4 week period, obviously losing Beth Mead to her ACL against Manchester United in the WSL, and now Vivianne Miedema has now torn hers. Big concern there for Arsenal going forward. I expect Jonas Alderweireld to be busy in this January transfer window coming up as they look to find replacements for both Miedema and Mead. So that's very sad news, and we wish her all the best in her recovery. So let's have a look quickly back at the Champions League action from this past week. In that game, Arsenal ended up losing 1-0 to Lyon, an own goal from Frida Marnham. Again, as you've seen over the past few days, shouldn't have been given as Millard was offside and interfered with play, but the result stood as there's no VAR until the quarter-finals. The other game in Group C saw Juventus beat FC Zurich by 5-0 with Cristina Girelli scoring 4 goals in that game. And then in Group D, Bayern Munich put 4 past FC Rosengard, and Bayern Munich beat Benfica 6-2. So both of those two teams in Group D obviously already confirmed as quarter-finalists. Obviously Arsenal have confirmed their place in the quarterfinals, whilst we go down to this week's tie between Lyon and Juventus for the final place in Group C, which is the 8th and final spot in the quarterfinals. Elsewhere on Friday, Chelsea beat Vlasnia by 4-0 in a very changed side from Emma Hayes, but it didn't really matter as they were already through. In the game that was to see who goes through in Group A between PSG and Real Madrid, PSG won that game 2-1 despite many chances late on from Real Madrid, so that means PSG go through and Real Madrid have been knocked out. And in Group B, Roma beat St Pölten 5-0, including 4 goals in the last 10 minutes, which was absolutely crazy to see, and that was obviously after the game had a long delay in the first half due to the torrential rain. And then Wolfsburg drew 0-0 with Slavia Prague despite having 35 shots. So that also means Wolfsburg and AS Roma are through, and that is massive congratulations to AS Roma, who in their first ever season are playing in the quarter-finals of the competition, which is absolutely brilliant to see. So we know 7 of the 8 teams that are in the quarter-final. They are Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Arsenal, Wolfsburg, AS Roma, Chelsea and PSG. And like I said, the Group C game between Lyon versus Juventus will take place this week. We'll have our full preview of this week's games a little later on. But like I said, the main news from today is that Vivianne Miedema has ruptured her ACL and will be out for an extended period of time. Until then, make sure you like, comment and subscribe and turn on the post notification bell so you never miss a video of ours, and that you're following us on Twitter and on Instagram for all the latest news and stories as and when it happens. And until then, we'll see you soon.